Look at that, one hand. What's going on, guys? Welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be running through my Moza settings. So a lot of people saw my unboxing video and they had a bunch of questions and what my setup was and how my wheels smooth and stuff like that. I haven't done too much, but maybe there are some settings that I set that you guys didn't see or stuff like that. So I know a lot of people went, just like me, went from Logitech to Moza, and they had a huge difference, but you know, sometimes they might still struggle making the transition. So hopefully I'm gonna show you guys some settings that make the transition a little bit easier, and one setting that I think a lot of people overlook. I even set it up wrong the first time I tried it. But first off, you get your Moza. I have a Moza R9 with this is the V1, it's the first version. V2, I'm not exactly sure what's different between the V2 and the V1, but I have the V1 with the CS wheel, and it's been great. So no complaints on my end. So as far as me, since I'm a drifter, I have drift settings. And so right here is the home page. You can see everything, your maximum steering angle, 900 degrees. You see force feedback is set at 55 right now. And that's because if you go right here, you'll see in the basic settings, you have presets. And I just click on the drift preset. So you click on the drift preset, it's going to give you this. It's going to give you 55%. I've tried to change these settings higher and lower to see if I like it, and I kind of realized that the drifts preset was actually the best for me, and maybe just because I got used to it after driving it for so long. But every time I changed something, I didn't like it as much. So for the most part, it's usually just the drift setup. So 55% seems to be good. I've tried lower, I've tried higher, and 55 does seem to be the sweet spot. And this is something I do change, and that is the wheel spring strength. And basically what that does is it just returns your wheel to the center. So right now it's set to 0. So if I turn the wheel, it doesn't go back to the center. That's it. Simple as that. So if I turn it, I can set it to 5%. If I turn the wheel now, it still doesn't do it. Okay, if I go to 10%, there, at 10%, it actually starts to move. So as you see, when I turn the wheel, it goes back to the center. I like it at 20. It's not super fast, and it doesn't seem like it really affects the driving as much, but sometimes when you spin out or you run into the grass, you don't know where the center is, and you're sitting there going back and forth trying to figure out if your car's aiming straight or not. And sometimes it's good if I just spin out, sit still for a minute, boom, it takes my wheel back to the center. So I changed that to 20%. Again, I don't think it really changed the driving of it, but mine is set at 20. Wheel damper, I left it at 20%. I've tried a little bit less. I have tried 10 and it seems like it's okay, but I think 20 is fine. If you turn it too high, I turned it to 100 just to see what it would feel like, to see the difference. And when I turned it to 100, as I'm drifting, I basically don't feel anything, and it just feels kind of weird. So wheel damper, if you're going to change it, I would go lower versus higher. So that's it. All I changed was wheel strength and use the preset drift mode. Over here in advanced, I have, that's already set to 100. Actually, no, I think it's set to 9 or 90. I set it to 100 because I do want to feel, this is the maximum output torque limit. And this is how you feel like all the bumps in the road. I do want to feel all the bumps in the road when I'm going like off track and stuff. So I set that as high as I can. I think between 90 and 100, you don't really feel that much, but I set it up just in case. And all this stuff, natural inertia, is already set to 150. This is 0, 0, 0. I messed with these again. I didn't really see a difference, so I just turned them back. And force feedback effect equalizer, I didn't change this. I think this is from the preset already. This is from the preset already. And over here in miscellaneous, this is something I changed. This is a soft limit stiffness. That's when, so it's a 900 degree wheel, but it spins infinitely. So I'm going to rotate to, you know, to the end of the limit. And right here, you can see it stop. I have it set to soft because if I do hit the limit, I could still go past it, but it's not super strong. You could tell you're past the limit because it is stronger. So you can see it locking up. But if I have it set to hard, then when it does, it bounces. So you see how much harder it is. I actually set up another camera for you guys today so you can see. But you see it bounces that lock so hard that it actually shakes my base. So I don't really like doing that. So that's why I set mine all the way to soft. So I know when I'm at my limit, when I'm at my max angle. So I try not to set it too high. So I keep that there. And there's also a soft limit strength. You can set it to soft, and that'll make it softer. But I do kind of want some feel that lets me know I'm at the edge. So I keep it at medium. And there's a setting right here. I've seen a lot of posts about people saying that their Moza overheats after like 30 minutes or so. Personally, I've never had that problem. I've been using this thing for months and I've never seen it overheat. I've never even touched it and felt heat coming off it. Maybe, you know, drifting probably isn't as hard as, you know, track racing, especially since I'm set at 55%. Maybe if you're set at 100% and you do that, then it will start to overheat and lose force feedback. But just in case you are having that problem or you don't want to face that problem, there is a temperature control strategy. And I don't know if it's set to conservative or factory, but mine was set to radical, and people say use radical. So that way it kind of cools itself a little bit more versus the conservative. So mine is set to radical. I think it was already set to radical. I checked it. It was already there. I don't remember changing it. So, but I haven't had that problem. So you can change that setting just in case you are. And everything else is, as far as the wheel, the RPM indicator, you can turn that on. I think I have, yeah, mine's just, yeah, RPM indicator, and that just changes the colors as you go up in revs, and you can see the colors. You can change the colors however you want, and it could tell you early, normal, late, however you want. And there's mode 1 and mode 2. Mode 1 is separate colors, so it'll be green, red, then purple. And mode 2, it doesn't show here, but I think it's just one color all the way through. So I use mode 1, but I mean, you're not really looking at that while you're drifting. Steering wheel's most likely upside down anyway. So that's it for the Moza pit settings. And all this other stuff is for the pedals and all these other attachments that I do not have. I only have the base and the wheel. So, but that is it for that. And don't close it. It should minimize into your tray, but don't close it. I always just minimize it to make sure it's down here, so that way I know it's running. And then now we're going to go into the settings in Assetto, and we're going to go in controls. Access, I have it 900 degrees, scale 100. I just keep it at 100. Don't change that. Filter 0, speed sensitivity 0. Basically just as long as it's 900 degrees, all that other stuff, you know, the wheel will handle all the rest of that stuff. So that's what you want the wheel to do. So don't worry about any of that stuff. And now we're going to go in custom shaders patch. In custom shaders patch, in your extensions, you're going to see force feedback tweaks right here. This is the setting that I missed the first time. But over here, you're going to set it to active, and that activates all this stuff. You're going to see more physical, accurate gyro implement, that word. And you make sure that is active. And out here, if you have a Moza, which means you have a direct drive, intended for direct drive wheels only, you set that to active. Now, after you set this to active, I made the mistake. I didn't look at the next section. So I set it to active. I drove and the car felt like really hard. It felt weird. I didn't like it. So I turned the settings off and I drove without the settings for maybe a couple months. And then I came back and turned it back on, and I completely missed this part right here. And it says it. Wheel peak torque. Use same value as your own wheel's peak torque. This is an R9, which means it's 9 Newton meters of torque. Sorry if I offended anybody. I'm just trying to be funny. It wasn't funny. I get it. 9 Newton meters of torque. And I think factory it's set to 35. So it's already high as you go. If you turn that setting on, it's already at 35. If you're outputting 35 Newton meters of torque into your R9 base, it's going to feel weird. So you have to slide that down to R9 or to 9. If you have an R5 base, you can slide it down to 5. Whatever, I don't know, all the other Fanatec and all that, whatever Newton meters they run. If you have an R12, you put it at 12. And after changing that setting, the steering wheel has been super smooth. So that is the important setting that I missed. And that's pretty much all the settings I changed. So there's one more setting we'll change in the game. So right now we're just going to do this Gravy Garage and Nishi, Ebisu Nishi. This is good, a little quick practice track that we can mess around in. And don't worry, I'm frozen right down the screen. It always freezes while I'm loading. But hey, you can see me now. But we're gonna go and do a little test practice. Oh, hold on, let me back up because the output is on my TV, not my headphones. All right, we're back. I have to have the speakers coming through the headphones, otherwise it plays and it kind of echoes the mic, so it's kind of weird. So I have the audio set now. Now, as far as car setting, that's completely up to you. You can change any car setting you want. I'm not even gonna mess with car setting right now because I'm gonna show you this thing in case you guys missed it. If you go over here, scroll your mouse to the right, you'll click on all apps. Mine's already over here because I use it all the time, but once you click on it, usually it tends to go to the bottom. But you're gonna look for this steering wheel right here. And the steering wheel is force feedback gain. Now, by factory, it's set to 100. If it's at 100, it's gonna be kind of wonky. So I always like to start around 70 and go higher or lower depending on how the car feels. Every car feels different. But basically what I want to do, I'm going to set it to 100 and watch, you're going to see it's going to be kind of jerky. But basically what I want to do, I mean, you can drive it 100, but okay, 100 works. You can drive 100. I don't like 100 because you see that jerkiness. I don't like 100 because of that. So I typically turn it down. So I'm gonna go back down to, so let's say we start at 75. I already know with this car, my magic number is 66. But basically I try to have it so it's smooth to the point where the car will self-center. Like once I let go of the wheel. But it's still jerky a little bit. So it's still jerky a little bit. Again, I like 66. You'll just have to feel it out on your own. Everybody has a different preference of how they want their car to feel. But for me, I just like when I let go of the steering wheel, I want it to slowly rotate back to the middle. That's the goal. I don't want it to yank out of my hand, but at the same time, I don't want to, you know, kind of, I do want some force feedback. So when I'm turning the wheel, that I know it's going to do something. But you see, again, with the second angle, you can probably see it better. I'm gonna start over. I'm gonna let you guys know when I let go of the wheel. I'm literally gonna let go of the wheel. So we're back at the beginning. I'm gonna go to second. I'm gonna clutch kick around this corner and I'm letting go of the wheel. Not 100%. If you let go 100%, then of course it's gonna over rotate, but you see I'm taking friction off the wheel. So once I take friction off the wheel, okay, it's a very bad example, but once you take friction off the wheel, I want it to go back to the center and then counter steer on its own also. And then I just hold it wherever I need to counter steer. So basically that's how I have my, like right there, that e-brake, right? I didn't turn the wheel at all. The wheel did what it's supposed to do. So I'm gonna go all the way over here, let it rotate. But you see when I let go of the wheel at the max angle, it kind of sits where it's supposed to sit. And that's just like how it does in real life. When you drive a car in real life, it should do that if it has a nice alignment and all that stuff. But that is the goal. So might be going too fast. Oh, I got it. I'm in the dirt, but I got it. But that is real simple. That's my setup. So again, I basically just try to, and I think most of that is from the force feedback tweak I added, where you added it to 9 newton-meters of torque for my R9 base. Because before it was doing okay. If you guys have been watching this channel for a little while, I do okay drifting, but I think changing that, I changed that while I was on my break. Remember I disappeared for a long time. I changed that while I was on the break, just messing around with different settings, trying to figure that out. And after I changed that, I was like, whoa, I can't believe I didn't have that set right. So that is a huge setting. Again, a lot of people might miss that. Just went to my friend's house last night. He doesn't drift, but he plays Assetto on occasion, and he didn't know that setting existed. So I set that up on his R9, and it made a big difference over there too. So it might just be an overlooked thing, but I think that is the magic setting, and it made driving so much easier, so much more fun. So if you guys are having R9 and trying to figure it out, try that. So anyways, just want to make a quick video. That's it. Or just see, I just slightly let go of the wheel. Like, I have my fingers on the back of the wheel to keep some friction so it doesn't over rotate, but for the most part, I could drive pretty easy with these settings. So hopefully, guys, I'm gonna do one hand now. I'm gonna see if I can do one hand. Woo. Look at that, one hand. So yeah, try that setting and see if that helps you. So that's gonna do it for this video, guys. Wanted to make a quick little, because I know people have asked me in the comments, and I know it's too much to type, so I figured I'd just make a video. So anyways, hopefully you guys learned something. Hopefully you guys try it out. Let me know in the comments if it worked for you. And yeah, that's all I got. Thanks for watching. I'll go ahead and finish this lap. Kind of way offline, but I'm good. I'm good. Too slow. All right, guys. Well, that's gonna do it. I'm gonna sit here and do donuts. Thanks for watching, guys. Deuces. I will see you in the next one.